It's my time. It's my favorite. It's my favorite recording week, my good sir. It is Tuesday nights, which is what would you do? So, wrong turn. If you remember, you got us. So quick recap. We're in the original Wrong Turn movie. Go back as far as I can remember. We went back to the dude's car to let because we got into a disagreement. Because how it was we discovered the house, and it was me and you with the couple. And they decided that they were going to investigate, and we wanted to go home. And there was no change in how they wanted to end things and how we wanted. So we decided to go back to let the people at the car know that, hey, your buddies are going to the house. You know, go and get them. And when we went back to the car, of course, they were having sex with each other. But they got murdered, and we found them gone, but blood everywhere. So we were like, hey, we need to go tell them that their buddies were murdered. But then when we got back to them, they were already in the house, and we couldn't find them. So how we ended it was, I let you know by throwing a rock at the truck that there was a third one coming. You got us into the house. So how we exactly ended it was we looked through the window. We couldn't see what the third one was doing, but he was chopping something. Then he disappeared. So now all three of them are out of sight, out of mind. We can't hear them, but you got us into the house. So we're going to continue from that point. So we got into the house. We looked up. We saw everybody's bodies chopped up. They're on the table. They're bleeding. So now we're stuck frozen in fear at this moment. So we hopped in the window, got on the sink, got on the floor. We're standing up. They're out of the house. There's dead bodies all over the place. No one's left except me and you. If we can't hear them, do we, A, go try to take them out? Or B, do we chance turning our backs and exiting out the window and going into the forest? Or do we C, investigate the house?
Well, based off where we left off, we're in the house. We realize that everybody's dead now.
Everybody's dead.
Everybody's dead. Bodies chopped up on the table.
Yep.
And we're just sitting there, frozen in fear.
Yep.
We're not going with A. We're not doing that.
Okay.
So there's either we
exit the window,
turn our backs, exit the window.
Yep.
Or we investigate the house.
Yes.
We have no idea if they're still in the house in a different part.
Yep.
Or if they're all outside.
Correct.
We know for a fact one is outside.
Yep.
Which is the one who came in the truck.
Yep.
And he drove back down because he thought somebody hit his truck and ran back down the road.
Yep.
And then the other two.
Yep.
Whether they're in the house or not.
Correct. Yeah, if you guys remember, we said two of them were in the house. One we couldn't see, but the second one we saw chopping up the bodies. So the third's outside. The first one is in the house, but we don't know where. And then we just saw the second one leave the station where he was chopping the bodies up.
Smartest action would be to leave the house.
Correct.
And run into the woods.
Correct.
If you remember in the movies, there's always traps in the woods in this movie.
Yep.
No matter which one you're on.
Yep.
Investigating the house just seems too risky, so I would probably go with option B. Just risk turning our backs, possibly being seen.
Okay.
And go into the woods.
Okay. So what if I say option B... No, option C, we investigate the house. What if I go, hey, dude, if we go outside, we need a weapon. We gotta find something.
So if we went with option C and investigated the house,
yep,
we already know one weapon's probably going to be there. He probably just stuck the
correct
hatchet or whatever he was using right on the counter. Whether or not how deep he put it in there, because they're strong as shit.
Yep.
So we might not be able to pull it out. We might be able to pull it out.
But with a hatchet, if you say, hey, grab that hatchet, let's use it. And let's say in future endeavor, we encounter one of them with the hatchet, you can't stand there. You gotta use it. But a hatchet's not exactly big, but it's not exactly small. So you gotta be close quarters with somebody to use that hatchet. But like you said, they're strong. So are we grabbing that hatchet knowing all of that future having to use it?
Well, it's hard to say because we know the third one's an archer because he's got a bow strapped around him.
Yep.
So that's hard to say because he's most likely the one that placed the traps in the woods that we have no idea about.
Yep.
And from the movies I've seen, he is very accurate with that bow.
Man, spot on with that shit.
But if it's one of the stronger ones that spots us and is after us in the woods, we'd probably want at least a weapon, so we'd probably grab the hatchet, risk being seen / heard. So
I'll carry the hatchet.
And then we retreat out the window, start traveling through the woods.
Okay.
They're gonna hear us running through the woods no matter how we think about it, with branches, leaves, and all that on the ground.
See, where I would cut you off on... so if we were to regroup on the outside, we're sitting against the wall of the house, and we're like, hey, so we need a plan. My first thing is, dude, if we go out there, we can't run.
Yeah.
But then there's a chance that if we go too slow, they're gonna see us. But I don't want to run, because also we gotta think, one of them is gonna act as the one that draws us out, while the archer is waiting for us.
No.
So I'm like, dude, we need to pick him off. Like, if we're gonna survive this, we gotta pick him off. So if I say that to you, what's your instant response?
That's dependent on which one we run into, because two of them are beefy dudes.
Yep.
Who would obliterate us instantly.
Mm-hmm.
If we run into one of them, our best option is straight hatchet to the leg.
Yes. See, you gotta go for the Achilles heel. You gotta cut his Achilles heel so he can't run or walk. That would be my immediate response. Was I would be like, hey, dude, why don't I draw them out and you wait for them? Like, I would be the one to be like, all right, dude, let me put my body on the line. Let me draw them out. But then they know those woods
like the back of their hand.
Like the back of their fucking hand. So we have to... So we're still against the wall of the house. We're trying to come up with a plan. There's going to be bear traps. There's going to be...
Pit
holes. There's going to be things to let them know where we are.
Probably swinging logs.
Yeah, yes.
That was in one of them.
So, how are we going to survive knowing that we have to not only A, look out for the 3 freaks trying to kill us, but also figure out where these traps are, while also trying to escape as fast as possible?
Well, not knowing where the traps are, and I'm just assuming none of us have any expertise with laying traps or spotting traps.
Correct.
So we're at an even bigger disadvantage with that.
Yep.
It's going to be slow and steady, but at the same time we're going to have to like keep a good quick pace in order to get out of there as fast as we can without getting spotted. Because we get spotted, one of them's going to call back, be like, yo, grab the truck.
Yep. But also, the archer is not going to make any sound. He's going to take his shot.
Sneaky.
He's just going to... So, and also for the ones that are like, oh, why don't you just go back the way you came? In the first episode, we talked about that. And we decided that if we go back, we decided that the people of the town are a part of it. Because they're like, we don't want no problems.
No.
So, because we said there was going to be a gas station, but the nearest town wasn't for 10 miles. So that's why we decided to go back to the house. So for the people that are saying, "Oh, why don't you just go back?" Our car got totaled, and the town is in on it. So that's where we're at right now. So we're going in the woods. If I looked at you, I'd be like, "All right, Arrow, what's the 3 rules for us to go into this woods?"
Well, head on a swivel.
Okay.
Look around everywhere. Ground, side to side, back, front, everywhere.
Okay.
Look on the trees just to see if there's any marks on them and shit. Don't drop the weapon.
Damn it. Okay.
We don't want to lose our only form of defense.
Damn it. Okay.
Third. Just slow and steady. Keep a sound mind.
Okay. So, all right. So we enter the woods. We're going. We don't make a sound. We're actually doing good. We're making good time. But let's say I'm the person that turns you, "Hey, dude, we're fucking lost. We haven't seen anybody, but that doesn't mean they're not near us. We haven't run into any traps. Also, if we haven't run into any traps, does that mean we're going the wrong way? Because if they're setting the traps, they're expecting us to go this way. So if we haven't run into any traps or nothing, then we can either... So if we haven't run into the freaks or the traps, let's say we've been walking for 10 minutes. It's been going great. No signs of anybody. But we've been walking for 10 fucking minutes. And I turn to you, "Hey, dude, we haven't run into nobody or no traps. What the fuck do we do? Are you going to tell us to keep going the way we're going? Or are we backtracking?"
I wouldn't backtrack.
Okay. Because we keep walking and getting lost in these woods.
It's hard to say because if we veer off to the right a little or veer off to the left a little,
yeah,
we might be going deeper into the woods.
Yeah.
We might be going shallower into the woods. We might hit a road. We might not.
Okay.
We keep going straight though. Possibility of traps.
Yep.
Still. Possibility of running into them still.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows how long these woods go.
Yep.
Because we're in the middle of nowhere. We have no idea how this stretch of land goes.
Correct.
It's probably easier for us to just head forwards, just continue looking out, and hope for the best.
All right. So let's say we walk another 10 minutes, and all of a sudden we see one of them. It's not the archer. So let's assume we're not seeing the archer at all. Let's say he's hiding. Let's assume he's hiding. At all costs he's hiding. But we run into one of the bigger guys. And you haven't gotten the sense that he's tracking us, but we run into him. What's our course of action?
Well, sneaking up on him is probably a no-go because the closer we get, the louder our sounds are going to be.
Correct.
Our best bet would probably be to try and just continue walking around him and just keep an eye on him as we're walking.
How you going to turn me away from... Because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to want to... If we can... Because I'm going to turn to you like, all right, dude, we see... Because, okay, so let's say the archer's A. We're into to the first brute, which is B. And then there's a second one, which is C. So let's say we run into to brute B. And I'm like, dude... So we sit down in group and we need to come up with a plan. Let's say when you look at me, I go, dude, this is our chance. If we could take one out. Like, we don't need to kill him. But if we don't kill him, he's going to scream and alert the others. But I don't want to get... So, what if I say, dude, this is the plan that I'm going through. And we could still see him. Let's say he's standing there, he's confused, and he's looking at the trees. And we get the vibe that he doesn't know we're there. But he's just being a dumbass, just out in the woods. He's just being a dumbass, just out in the woods, enjoying the nature. Okay, let's just say he's there. And I go, all right, dude, so this is the plan. We need to cut his Achilles. That's my go-to. We have to cut his Achilles. You can't come back from that. You can't walk after that. You can't run. So if I go, dude, We need to take his Achilles, and then we can slit his throat. What's your immediate... So we see him, and I'm telling you all this, and you're looking back and forth between us. What's your response?
Well, first I'm going to think you're crazy. Because Brute B is one of the strong ones.
Yeah.
I'd say the only way I'd go through with this is if we spot one of their traps on the ground or within the trees. Because if we can lure him to one of the traps that we somehow come across without tripping it, and we lead him to it, it'll make it 10 times easier for us to go after him.
Okay. But do you like my Achilles idea? But with the Achilles idea, I have to get close to him.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, so if you bring up the trap idea, we need to get him to fall into one of the traps. That means we have to get him to follow us. And that chances him alerting the others, screaming, whatever. So I agree to your trap idea, but I need to take his Achilles. I have to take that man's Achilles. It's dumb, but I have to. If we could incapacitate one, and we just have to take out the other two, I think Brute B is the least of our worries. But we have to eliminate him. So, would you be willing to distract him so I can somewhat sneak behind him? And how would you do that?
Well, I guess I'd kind of have to.
Because one of us needs to. Are you willing to cut his Achilles heel? Or are you willing to get close to his feet?
I feel like I'd have the better chance of getting close to his feet.
Okay.
Now, have we found a trap yet? Or?
No. We haven't run into one for... Because the first 10 minutes, we didn't run into anything. The second 10 minutes, we ran into him. So it's been 20 minutes since we ran into anything. So no traps or nothing. Been 20 minutes.
We'd probably have to wait till we ran into a trap at least first, or at least found one.
Okay. So then, let's assume that you said, no, let's wait till we find something. He's ahead of us. We have to veer left or right at this point. So which way are we going?
Well, is he left or is he right?
He's straight ahead of us. He's straight ahead of us. So we have to veer left or right. We can't backtrack. So which way are we going?
Now, here's the next question. Whichever way we veer, is there one section that's uphill, one section that's downhill? Or is one side level ground and one's up or down?
Let's say they're both level. We haven't run into any hills or nothing yet.
So we're gonna veer right.
Okay.
So he's still on still in the middle where we were.
Yep.
Previously. Now, when we veer right, how long have we been walking since we veered right?
Let's say we successfully veered right, haven't run into another Brute or Archer A, but let's say we start seeing trees clumping together. So we don't see no traps, but it's obvious we're in a different area of the forest. Trees are getting clumped together. We're seeing logs on the ground. So it seems as if things are altered. Like the ground tree, like yeah. There's leaves on the ground, whatever. Are we... Yeah, so we've walked like a good 5 minutes and we've seen things are starting to get tampered with. What are you more focused with? Tree traps or floor traps? Like if we're seeing leaves that have been man-pushed on top of each other, like it didn't fall naturally.
No.
Are you more focused on looking... If we see the trees and we see all this and we're like, all right, the archer has to be near, but we can't see him. Are you more focused on finding the archer or focusing on the ground?
Oh, I'm more focused on the ground.
Okay.
If I see leaves that are putting naturally hand pushed into a pile, I'm investigating that pile first of all to see if it's a pit trap, because I'm not falling into that with a bunch of wooden spikes at the bottom.
You can't leave me alone, because I'm not gonna lie to you, man. If you fall in that pit and die by logs, then I'm gonna fucking jump in, because I'm not being alone in the woods with 3 fucking things that are gonna kill me. So let's take the first trap. Let's say we encounter our first trap, and it's a thin wire. We don't know what it's attached to, because we're not gonna look around for it. But let's say we encounter our first thin strip of wire. What's your first immediate cause of action?
Well, not walk.
Well, obviously we can't
not trip it.
Correct. But we can't see no logs in trees or nothing. But we see there is something there. So that's either something to alert them of where we are, or it is for a trap of some sort. So, in front of us is the thin strip of our trap. And we don't see any logs or nothing. Are we continuing forward? Because obviously that's where the traps are coming. Or do we veer left? Do we veer left in turn, going straight of where we were going? Or are we veering right, end up going backwards towards the house? Or are we heading straight over the thin wire, going straight?
First, I'm gonna take a solid minute just to see if I can trace where that wire's leading to see if it's a trap or if it's an alert system.
And while you're doing that, you're having me watch your back to make sure. No, okay.
Now, when I'm doing that, I don't really see nothing out of the ordinary until I finally look at the end, and it looks like there's a bunch of bells hanging in the tree in there.
Correct.
So we know that's an alert system, not a trap.
Correct.
So we're not gonna veer right to
go back to the house.
Basically,
yes.
I'm probably gonna have us just step over the wire, not alert them, and just keep pushing forward.
Damn. Okay. All right. Let's assume. All right. So let's assume that we do that and we start heading forward. It's only minutes when we start hearing rustling in the woods. Can't see anything. Obviously, now that I said that the trees are more together and everything, we can't really see what's above us, but we hear. So we stop in our tracks. If we hear something, I'm assuming that they see us. But it could also be a deer in the woods. It could also be a raccoon. It could be anything. But I'm assuming it's them. So we can't exactly... Where do we hide? Do we stand? Or do we just run?
Not run. Definitely not run.
Okay.
Because if that Brute B is still on the straight path towards our left...
Correct.
We don't want to have him alerted and just come running at us.
Correct.
I don't think we should hide either, because then that just puts us in an easy pick-off spot for the archer.
Correct.
Probably just keep moving forward, just at a slower pace, and focus on looking around and that.
Okay. So let's say we found out the sound was a deer. Oh, shit. How do we go about this? So we found the first alert system, and we found it was a deer rustling. I mean, shit. And I turned to you, I go, dude, we can't keep running. We can't wait for them. We gotta draw them to us. Like, I'm the one in the group that wants to draw them to. We gotta take at least one out. So let's say we just walk. We're following your plan. There's no end in the force in sight, so we're just walking. Let's assume you think you caught a glimpse of the archer in the trees, but we can't find him. So you think you caught him running tree to tree to tree. What's our course of action?
Oh God.
We haven't caught Brute C yet. We haven't seen him, but we saw Brute B. We left him, but now you think you saw the Archer.
Oh God.
I guess now it's time for us to encounter the Archer.
That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like we're gonna climb the trees.
Hell no. Hell no.
Like, that man's just been running tree to tree.
That man's been hopping top to top.
Oh, man.
But again, we can't see him. But you think you saw him.
And if it is him, that's
correct.
Hard to lure him down.
Correct. You caught him in the peripherals, but again, when you went to look for him, you couldn't find him. So it's either your mind fucking with you to fuck with me, or you actually did see him and he's just that good at hiding.
God, I don't know where to go from there. Because that's a predicament in itself. Because we run, he's gonna alert Brute B, who might be on the same path that we were before.
Correct.
Oh.
So now we're in the part of now we're encountering them. But again, if he saw us, then we're already dead.
True,
that's the thing too.
Because if we're just standing there now, because I think I might have seen him.
Right, and we're standing there, we're looking up, and we're trying to find him.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
And we've only been walking a couple minutes since we...
This is about 15, 20 minutes. This is in total, this is about 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, so the 10 minutes from...
Yes.
Walking, and the 5 running into the trap.
Yep.
And now a
now
couple
it's
minutes
been
after...
5. Yes.
So what we could do is backtrack towards the trap and towards the alarm system.
Okay.
Set it off.
Okay. Oh God, but that's tricky though.
Yeah.
That's tricky. So
we don't know where Brute C is.
Correct. So are we going together, or are you sending me on my own to alert him?
Ooh. That's hard to say.
I will tell you right now, if we were hiding behind a tree, you gave me the idea, said, hey, you need to go set off that trap. You need to realize that if I'm caught and I start dying, then I'm screaming to let you know that they got me. But also that would allow them to know that you're... Because they're smart.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to know that if I'm alerting you, then you're close by. So do I scream? And by 1% chance, that's them knowing, like, hey, he's letting his buddy know? Or do you just leave me? I mean, you gotta survive. Like, okay, so before we get into that deep, because we're getting close to the end, you tell me to go set off the trap. So I leave right out of sight, right out of mind. Honestly, are you expecting me to live? You have to have a mindset at this point. Is Red gonna live or is Red gonna die?
Well, if I'm thinking what you're gonna do as soon as you set that off, my expectations would be you fucking chop that bitch, have that go off, and you just book it back towards me.
Okay.
And then we figure out work because we're in a clump of trees now.
Yep.
We try doing fucking zigzags.
Yep.
One of us has the hatchet, obviously.
Yep.
Did you get the hatchet? No,
No, I took it to cut the trap. But also, my first thought is, if you indeed did see the Archer, I'm assuming he's within sight of us. He's hiding. So he sees me run, allowing him to know that you're all by yourself. I don't want to leave you alone. That's another thing.
Because I'm obviously still going to be looking around in the trees just to see if I can see anything.
Correct.
Because I'll probably... The way I would think about it, if I saw that archer, I'm going to be looking around, but I'm also going to be moving like side to side. I'm going to be moving in patterns. That way it's not just a sitting duck target.
Correct.
I'm going to be moving around, keeping an eye on everything above me and the trees until my hopeful thought process of you just booking dick back to me.
Yep.
And just reconnecting.
Okay.
From there, hopefully, that gets him to come down because he's going to be less likely to shoot at 2 targets.
Right.
And try and get them instead of waiting for one of the brutes to get there.
Correct. Because they are big, but I guarantee they are slower.
Because if you remember the movie, he doesn't just use a bow. He does have like a little knife that he carries with him.
Yes.
So he can do close quarters.
Yes. But that's where my hatchet would come in.
Yeah. But he's also the small one, so we have more of a better chance of just like fucking somehow getting close to him. He might cut your arm.
Right.
But you could like back leg, shove him to the ground.
Right.
So if we're going off that, that's what I'm doing. I'm different patterns, looking in the trees, making sure I'm not trying to get sniped at. You're going back to the trap.
Yep.
You cut it. I may only be like 5 minutes away from you, but I still hear the bells going off. I hear them swing down, crash into the trees and shit.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you're running back.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing. Where are you on when you do that?
Okay, so if I'm chopping the trap, first off, I'm the type of person that's gonna overthink it. So I'm like, what if I chop this trap and it just cuts it and it doesn't do anything? You wanted the plan to play out where you want them to know where we are. So I'm gonna play both sides of the coin. Like I'm gonna bend it and try to snap it to allow the bells to go off, but I'm also gonna try to break it. Now, if it's wire, it's not going to be easily chopped. So, knowing me, it's going to be a downfall for us, but I'm going to probably try to break it. So, I'm going to spend the minutes trying to break it while also letting the bells go off. Are you going to... Good God. Good God. For every second that I waste on this trap, Brute C could be near me. So I'm also trying to think of you as well. So do you want me to just chop it and come back? Or do you want me to set the thing off and then come back?
Well, that depends if you just breaking it sets it off. Or if you have to actually like leg through it, trick it.
Right. So let's assume I chopped it because you said chop. So let's assume I said Arrow wants it chopped, Arrow wants it chopped, Arrow wants it chopped. So let's say I chop it. The bells don't go off. I'm going to try to go onto the tree and ring the bell. Good God, you can't tell me what to do because you're too far away.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I chopped it, bells didn't go off. I climbed the tree and I start setting off the thing. But let's say I did it to where there was enough time to where as I'm coming down, I see Brute C in the distance. So I'm on the tree and I'm about to come down, but I look and I see Brute C's body. I can't really see him that well, but I see he's there. Do you want me to drop down and run to you or stay in the tree? Because I'm not going to be able to warn you that Brute C's within sight. That's where we're at right now. Because if I jump down and run to you, not only is the archer near us, but also Brute C is on my tail coming at you. So with that in mind, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm staying in that tree. But he's coming his way to you because he heard the trap go off. So he's gonna assume that I ran and he can't catch me. So he's gonna make his way toward you. Unless he didn't see me. No.
Okay, I was gonna say, did he see you?
No, he didn't. He heard it because he was so far away. He heard it, but he didn't see me. So he's just walking towards you. So now you got C and Archer against you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna get down from the tree and try to take out Brute. And we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it there. So you're dealing with Archer A right now. And I'm about to try to take out Brute C. So that's where we're gonna end it. I'm not gonna lie, I think one of us is gonna die. I'm not gonna lie to you. But next Tuesday is gonna be the final part. One of us is dying.
Maybe.
We're living, and we gotta figure out what to do after that. So with that being said, folks, again, this is my favorite. I'm loving this. Next Tuesday is gonna be the final part of the Wrong Turn series. Then we're gonna do another one of something else. And I think that's gonna be fun. So that being said, I'm Red.
And I'm Meryl.
And we'll see you in the next one, folks. Bye.